What's up, guys, and welcome back again. And I have here with me Dayo. Dayo, what's up?
I'm good. I'm good, my brother. How you doing, man?
I'm very good. All right, so let's get straight into it. Ange Postecoglou, and I just want to say, last season when he came into the Premier League, he brought like his style of football. I think the first 10 games they were doing very well. He was able to implement his style of football. You know, you see Pedro Porro, Udoji going into the midfield, very, very attacking. They play a very high line. And also, you could tell he's that guy that like to stick to his principles. He doesn't want to deviate from what he already knows. He really believes in it. Is it that way or not that way? And the game they played against Chelsea, where they were like, was it 10 men down or so?
Yeah.
You know, normally every other manager would try to sit back and try to like hit on the counter, but he still stuck to that style of play, playing that high line. And towards the end of the season, they were just shy away from finishing top four. They finished, I think, behind Aston Villa. They were 60. Aston Villa finished 68 points, and they finished 66. As I when we're making this video currently right now, they're on ninth on the league table, if I'm correct. They're on ninth on the league table, and but do you think and his style of play is sustainable enough to win a Premier League title? I believe yes, a very good style of play is very attractive, but I don't think that is sustainable enough to win a Premier League title because even the best of the best managers, Dio, adapt. The best of the best managers adapt. Their last game against Brighton, for example, their last game before the international break, they were 2 goals up. And when they go back into second half, they blew it away. Before the
Let me first start by saying Ange Postecoglou is a very good manager. Let's not. We can't take that. He's a good manager.
yes,
He's a good manager. His style is sustainable if he has the players that he needs that can play it.
do
But
you think it's a player problem
yes,
or
here's where the deception is. Last season, the first 10 games, his style was sustainable. People were like,
yes?
oh, but it was the teams that they played. It was sustainable against. They hadn't played anybody difficult in the first
Okay,
games per se, barring Liverpool game where, of course, we know what happened with the refereeing and all that nonsense,
yeah.
right? So that style worked against certain teams. It's the same way we're looking at Liverpool this season. And we're saying Liverpool is on point, but they haven't played any of the really, really tough teams. And now that the international break is here, when it comes back,
Mm-hmm.
they'll play some tough teams. And I do think that they'll stand the test. I think they will. I'm not
Well,
saying it,
but
but
well, just to cut you, sorry, Dayo. Liverpool, I don't know if you watched their preseason. There were, I think, was it when they played Arsenal or so? You could tell Slots, he changed. He was able to adapt. He wasn't really
yes,
like he
I agree
didn't.
with you that
But Ange won't do that. Ange will still stick. That is where
I
he's
think
a
like
very good manager. But
I think, like I said, I think Ange's issue, right? Ange's issue is yes, he's stubborn, he's not changing his style, but I think he has also realized that with these players, even if I change and adapt, they are still going to lose. So let me continue my style. Because as a manager, I think that's where that's the only excuse I can give for him to say, look, even if I change and I adapt, these guys are still going to lose. So let me play my style continuously. Let people see that my style is good until they can give me the players that can play this style for me. Like Klopp would not have been successful if he didn't have the crop of players that he had to play that game press that he likes to play, that mad football.
yes, but at one point you could tell there were moments where Klopp wasn't really going game pressing. Klopp was there were games where he was a bit conservative, and there were games where he goes go pressing. For Ange Postecoglou, Dayo, week in week out, if you are facing Spurs, you know what to expect. Irrespective of if they are losing, if you are facing Spurs, you know what to expect from them. You can't say, oh, maybe he will try to be more conservative. Even Pep Guardiola sometimes will tell you, oh, the reason why he played maybe Kovacic and, for example, Rodri was because he knows this team is very counter-attacking. He's trying to control. You understand?
Yeah, like I said, I agree with you on the stubbornness and not changing his style. But the question for me is that style sustainable to win the Premier League? I think if he has the caliber of players that he needs, the right caliber of players, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking, he has to have the best of the best. Like that high line that he plays with a Van der Ven and a Van Dijk in that
Mm-hmm.
defense, right? Think about this: putting a Van Dijk and having Van Dijk in that Tottenham team. Um, Putting a player like for that high line that they like to play, putting a player like Musala on the right hand side for them. Like if you take a few pieces from other clubs that are really really good and put them in that Tottenham team with Ange Postecoglou's style,
Yeah.
I think sustainably without injuries, they can win the league with that style. I think, yeah, because they score. They
Okay.
score. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
No,
So
they'll always create
and then,
chance against
when
any
you get,
other team.
yeah, and then when you put in like the right defense for them, like I said, having like a Van der Ven and a Van Dijk, Van der Ven very fast, Van Dijk also very fast, very calm on the ball. Even if they play a high line, those guys can recover quickly. Give Tottenham Gabriel and Saliba in defense. Give them in midfield. Add a Caicedo in midfield, right, for them, and then on their front line, put a Musala on the right hand side, down the middle. Leave Solanke there down the middle, and on the left, let's leave Son, and watch what happens. How that team transforms with playing that same high line. Like I think that it's just the caliber of players that they have doesn't is not suitable for the style he wants to play. The man is stubborn. He's not going to change his ways. You know that.
To be fair, I don't think,
So
to me, I don't think, yeah, players, but I don't think it's, for me, I don't really think the reason why I say his style is not sustainable to win a Premier League title is because even, okay, let me give an example. Arsenal, when Mikel Arteta lost Odegaard, this season, it changed to a different, Mikel Arteta did what he had to do to win the Spurs game. You understand? We all know that is not, like right now. You can tell Mikel Arteta can give you different. There are different style Mikel Arteta can come out with to win a game. It doesn't have to. If you want, we can sit back, hit you on the counter. If you want to go pressing for pressing, Arteta can do it. But and Postecoglou, I don't. He doesn't like. I don't think he sets a team. He sets a team up to win. But irrespective, maybe if a player gets injured, he will still stick to, like, he still believes.
and that's what I'm saying. Like for someone like Ange Postecoglou, again, I hear you that he doesn't change his style. Mikel Arteta had to learn to change his style. If you remember 2 seasons ago when Arsenal was playing flying football, we were
Yes.
hitting out of the park. The minute we had a couple of injuries, we collapsed because the manager didn't have the crop of players to be able to play that style anymore. Arteta didn't know how to change the team and adapt to those injuries. We didn't. We collapsed at the end of the season, right? We were 8 points ahead and we collapsed. And that's what I'm saying. With him, I think Ange Postecoglou would need a squad that is like for like, which means even if he has an injury to Son, the next player coming in can play like Son, but not on the same level. Maybe that player is on like 6.5, Son is on 8, but the person can still play that style that he wants. He doesn't want to change his style.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
So you want to tell me if it's a final, let's say Champions League final, where you see the way like the last game we played against Fulham, where we were not at our best, but we got the results. But Pep Guardiola took out some players and brought in John Stones just to make things okay. This guy doesn't look like that kind of guy. So if what happens in the final, he will still play like this.
That's what I'm saying. He's not going to see. You need to understand that he believes in his style. And I think, honestly speaking, looking at his style, the problem with Tottenham is they collapse because he doesn't have, these players cannot do it for 90 minutes straight. They can't. There were 2 goals up in the last game.
Yes.
He collapsed against Brighton again. Why? Because they can't keep it up. But if he had players that could keep up that style, they could easily be 2-3 goals up and just shut up shop. And not even defend, like shut up shop by just still playing that stupid high press that they like to play, that high line, and just keeping you in your.
So you are saying it's a player problem rather than
I think
and Postogoglu's stubbornness and not willing to adapt.
It's all of it. It is Ange's. I already agree that Ange will not change. Ange doesn't want to adapt, and that's a problem in itself. Also, the second thing is he doesn't have the players to consistently play the style he wants to at the same pressure for 90 minutes in every single game over 38 games. So the problem now is it's either we know that the manager is stubborn. The owners are like, okay, if this guy is going to be this stubborn and not change his style, we need to get him the caliber of players in the entire squad, not just the first 11, but the squad, so that in case there's an injury, he can replace that person and still play his style because he believes his style can win that way. You know,
the style can win. I know the style can win. I think the style can win. That style of play is maybe some couple of cups, maybe those. But the Premier League, I think you need to. I don't think is a league. The way the Premier League is, I don't think is a league where one style, like for the whole, there are some games where you need to change your approach, and there are some games where you still need to stick to your principles. Like for example, like let me say like I said, Pep, when we went to Emirates last season, where I think Rodri was not playing or so, and we had to use Rico Lewis, Kovacic, the way the game was, it was very, it the fundamentals were still there in terms of okay, holding the ball, passing, all those basics of Pep Guardiola. But normally that's not how they will approach a game. You understand? Pep had to adapt just because of how good this team is. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree with you that other managers adapt. So what I'm saying again is I'm not trying to.
If Dio, sorry, but if the best manager in the league is adapting,
no, see, but
then why is Ange not going to adapt?
I'm playing devil's advocate here. You see, the percentages that you need to win in the Premier League. See, Ange's style can beat the bottom 10 of the table. That's the bottom 10. So he already knows that with that style, his first 11 being fit, he can make those points, those 3 points. He can nick 30 points already off the bottom 10, right? The top 10, his style can most likely beat from like 7th to 10th, 7, 8, 10. That's another, 3 points times how many games? Like another 18 points. So he's got 60 points home and away from the bottom 10, right? If you look at it from that perspective, I think his style might not be able to beat the top 3 or the top 4, or maybe even the top 5. That's where he'll probably drop points. But if he can get a point from each of those guys and make us drop points, Tottenham is in the running to challenge with that style. If you see what I'm saying. So that's why he might be stubborn. I'm just giving reasons why I think he might be stubborn about it. I'm not saying it's a good style, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but you have to think from the perspective of the person and why does Pep adapt? Pep adapts because Pep feels like that's the best way to win. Pep is the greatest manager right now, and if that's his style, great. Mikel Arteta, why was he not able to adapt 2 seasons ago? He didn't know how to adapt. Last season, why was he not able to adapt in certain games? He did. Beginning of the season, we started slow. We played a bit defensive, a bit lethargic. Halfway through the season, we picked up and started playing fast. I started playing better. The game against Aston Villa that we lost, where we capitulated and lost 2-0 at the end of the day, even though we played better, the question was, why didn't he make substitutions on time? We've seen games that, so Mikel Arteta is also learning, which means managers are realizing their own style. So Ange's style might be, hey, look, I know my style can kill off the bottom 10, which is 60 points home and away, right? 3 points at home, 3 points away, 6 points. If I take 6 points away from the bottom 10, that's 60. If I can take another 6 points away from 7th to 10th, again, with my style, that's 18 points. 18 plus 6, that's 78 points. Yeah, with 78 points, you're literally getting close to the top echelon of where you can compete. Now it's against the top 6, which he's part of. If I can take 2 points away from City, home and away, draw. If I do the same with Liverpool, draw with this style. If I can do it the same with Arsenal, draw, I'm up there. And I think that's how I kind of see it in my head, and why I say, because managers will look at their style and say, well, how many of these 20 teams can my style beat? But I guess someone like Pep, who's a different type of a breed of manager, will think about it a different way, and Arteta will think about it a different way, and Klopp or Slot, and his Slot think about it a different way as well. It's like you want to weigh your odds against those, and be like, okay, for example, Arsenal, we know that our defensive style, it doesn't suit us playing that against lower teams. We just need to go and kill off lower teams.
Okay.
Which we tried to do with Leicester. And again, when we sat back and started defending our 2-goal lead, what happened?
Considered.
They came back. Even though we defended our 2-goal lead, they still came back, and we had to struggle to win at the end of the day. Same thing with Southampton. We went at them, we just couldn't break them down. We just couldn't find a goal. Until they found the goal, it was almost like we were asleep. So for me, it's almost like every manager will weigh their style and say, look, how many teams can my style beat? And then against the top boys, the big boys, what can we do to slow them down, take points away, nullify them? That gives you the advantage to actually be on top.
I don't know, but it's that you make sense there. Honestly, you made sense there, but I think the ego there, the guy has ego. The ego there is
yeah. You have to have ego. You have to
have, of course, yes. But I'm not saying he should change his style of play. I think for me, I'm not saying because
another thing is he might not know any other style. Have we ever thought about the fact that he might just not know any other style? And here's the problem: he's afraid to change his style because he knows if he tries a new style, I mean, think about it this way: his players are not executing his style properly, anyways. If he changes his style and they don't execute it properly, he even looks worse because that means now, even in the second style he's trying to execute, they are not doing it. So suddenly you're looking like a terrible manager across the board. But if your style is working in certain games and it's because let me tell you what most people's opinion. Well, let me not speak for most people. Let me just say what I saw online. Majority of it was people said, "Oh, Tottenham bottled it," but the first thing most people said was, "But they played very well in the first half."
Yeah, they did against Brighton.
You see that statement there proves that his style works.
Yes, but Dayo, in the
But
game itself, at least you should know when to, okay, boys, we can't keep going like this. Let's arrange ourselves. Let's try to see how we can control the game. Not, you can see the this team is causing us problems.
that's why I said. That's
We
why I
are
said he
still
might not
sticking
know.
to our.
He
That's
might,
why I have a
he
problem.
might not know any other. He might not know any other style. We are here assuming that Ange knows another style.
What? But wait. This is not. I don't think.
No, no.
He
I'm,
said, "What if he
no,
doesn't know another stuff?"
yeah, if I assume that he knows another style,
Of course, he will definitely know another style
making
of
an
play. He's
ass
a
out of
manager.
me. Look, see, Ahmed, let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Some people, okay, even if he does, maybe he's just not bold enough to change his style. It could be arrogance. It could be the fact that he might be afraid to change his style. It could be the fact that he's not bold enough to change his style. It could be the fact that he's looking at all the other factors and saying, well, my style works, but these guys are not executing it right. And I don't know why they cannot keep up with this. So if I have the right quality of players, maybe I would be able to prove to people that this style works. Because it already, for 45 minutes, it worked. And I agree with you, he should change in the second 45. I mean, at least the first 15 minutes of the second 45, control the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
Be in charge of the game. Make sure you don't give these guys room to breathe, and then try to hit them on the third, and then just calm down. Once you do that, you've broken that team down, you know. But they come in and they just look horrible in the second half. And now the question is, these are the same players in the first half who looked amazing. What happened? Because these are the same players. It's not like he changed the whole 11 that came out.
Yeah. You are seeing what is happening, and you are still sticking with what you know. That's where I think that's where my own problem is. Not I don't want him to change it. His style of football is very good, but where you see
his in-game management is not good. Basically, Ange's in-game management, you can still play that style of football, but this time around,
maybe
you can play it in the middle of the park in the midfield and just hold the ball for like 5-10 minutes, pass it around, hold the ball. You know, every now and then send Bernard Johnson to the side touchline there, get a corner. If you win the corner, recycle the ball back again. You should know your triggers. That team should know their triggers, but it's almost like they just play this super high line and depend on Van der Ven as their last man. Like if a ball gets played over the top over them into the space behind them, they know Van der Ven is fast, he's going to get there, and they're also banking on Vicario being like, you know, this good shot stopper. I think that's just one narrow way of thinking and one narrow way of playing. And like I said, maybe he does. I won't say he doesn't. He probably does know many other styles, but his in-game management is terrible. It's nothing to write home about when you see how they make their changes. And when he does make changes, it's always funny because it's always like for like. Like his players are like for like. It's like, oh, take out Bentancur and bring in Bissouma. Take out, you know, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like what are we doing here? You're bringing in players that are still going to try to run all the way to the front. At this point, you're 2 goals up. You're 2-1. There's 20 more minutes. You realize that these guys could hit you. You still have fast players on the pitch that can go and score eventually. Send in players that can go control that midfield and help the defense and calm the game down, slow the tempo down, take charge of the game, control it for the next 10-15 minutes, and then just try to hit them on the counter or something, or hit them on the set piece or score an open play goal if you get the chance to. But don't just keep playing the stupid highlight, you know. So high line for life, mate. High line for life.
All right, just to round this up, what I would just say is, if he keeps going like this, if he keeps going like this, and if Pep Guardiola, who's the best in the league, can adapt, even when Pep goes to Anfield, yes, when Pep goes to different grounds like the Emirates or this home ground, Pep adapts, but the basics are still there in terms of trying to have much of the ball. Pep still try to adapt because he knows how this team is. If Ant continues like this, I think it will really. I don't see.
Oh, he's gonna
I
get
don't.
fired, mate. He's gonna get fired, mate.
I don't see him even winning.
And
I don't think this style is this way is going is sustainable enough to win a Premier League title. And what I want to say is,
he's
if they
getting
keep on
fired.
going like
He's getting
this,
fired by December, mate. He's getting fired by December, mate. You're gonna sit there, high line for life, mate. High line.
and if he keep, I don't think they will fire him though. And if he keep going like this, if he doesn't change something this season, I think they might miss out again, just the way they missed out last season from top four.
Well,
for Ange, there's no hope. This is it. That's it.
I don't think they're going to make top four because his in-game management is crap. I don't think he's going to make top four. But I also don't condemn the style.
Yeah, of course, I don't condemn the style.
He has the right personnel. He'll be able to pull off something, but I don't see them making top four.
Oh, all right. No problem. Guys, let us know what you think in the comment section about Ange Postecoglou. Do you think he should keep sticking to his principles or he needs to adapt depending on the opponent? And do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe. And the link to Dayo's channel will be in the description also. Thank you so much, Dayo.
All right, mate. High line for life, mate. Ange Postecoglou, thank you for watching. Yeah. Like and subscribe, mate. All right, mate. High line.